I landed in Italy for work on September 10th, 2001. I met my Macy's coworker and longtime friend Massimo in Florence. The evening of September 11th, we were driving when rapid rushing words in Italian fired over the radio. Massimo said that a plane had flown into the World Trade Center. I imagined it was a small plane. What a terrible accident. A few minutes later, Massimo said,
"No, there are two planes, and they are not small. They are both jetliners. Both buildings are on fire."
I understood enough Italian to get the gist. This is war. This is an attack on U.S. soil. There are thousands of people. And then we heard about the Pentagon and the fear that there were more planes. All the internet cafes were open 24 hours and free. There I was, cheek by jowl with others, furiously typing as there was no phone service into New York. Much sniffling was heard. My company told me to just stay put. My family was okay. I was worried about my childhood friend who worked at Century 21 right next to the towers. She was okay. I finally reached her dad in Maryland by email. She had had to walk all the way to the 80s, avoiding all landmarks and tall buildings. She saw and heard terrible, awful things. She told me later that there was a team of buyers from TJ Maxx on the flight from Boston that went into one of the towers. A few nights later, I was finally hungry enough to start wandering the streets for food. I walked in the extreme quiet, noticing signs in some shop windows supporting New York. In that ancient city, where so many wars and lives had come and gone, things could be put in perspective. I realized that we were spoiled. We had never been attacked on U.S. soil, but our invulnerability was a myth. The walls surrounding these ancient cities protected them in centuries past. But planes flying into buildings? What protection is there? I heard bells chiming and felt drawn to them. It was not from a church, but the bell in the Palazzo Vecchio, the old main square where Savonarola was burned at the stake. And as I approached, I saw many people gathered. By the front of the palazzo was a stand with microphone. Various people spoke, including the mayor of Florence.
Americans were here for us in World War II, and many are buried in the outskirts of the city.
Candles were handed out as the crowd grew. A cardinal, a priest, a rabbi spoke, mostly in Italian, but anyone could have understood what they were saying. People asked where I was from. When I said Manhattan, they looked so sad. As the ceremony went on, I was crying so hard, they put their hands on my shoulder. It felt unusual to have perfect strangers touching me, but it was okay. In the distance, in the fading light, I spotted a large U.S. flag. It was tied to a stick, like a long tree branch jerry-rigged quickly for the spontaneous event. A man was waving it back and forth high up in the breeze. It meant more to me than it ever had, and for the first time, I truly understood what that flag meant. I kept my eyes on it. It gave me strength. As the crowd broke up, I made my way over to the gentleman holding the flag, and I thanked him for bringing it and told him how much it meant to me.
It is the least I could do.
He was not American, as I had presumed. He was Italian. He was a brother, nonetheless. This was an attack on humanity and democracy, not just New York or the United States. When I finally returned home on September 21st, we had some counseling sessions at work. I recall crying and seriously wanting them to supply parachutes so we could jump out our windows if necessary. The windows didn't open, so I don't think this would have worked, and for many other reasons as well. But the fear and realizations from this event have continued to stay with me and with us all.